I do want to focus and draw everyone's focus to a problem that I can't get out of my head that will become one of our central focus points at Dealerware as we think about how we service our customers, how we work with our partners, and what we're going to build, and some of the things that we're not going to build with all of the new context in mind. So I'm going to try to frame our plans in a very singular light, and it all is going to come together to attack one very specific problem, which I'll get to. Yeah? And then we'll have 3 different chapters in our format today and just a full lineup of amazing, accomplished people that will walk you through an industry perspective. That includes OEM perspectives, that includes retail perspectives, and other technology providers like Dealerware, that perspective as well. And I think the day will end up going by fast. It always does. Yeah? So 2026, about 2.5 years, Grace, removed from the last time we did an event like this. 2023, what were some of the things that we were talking about? What was up at the time? First and foremost, vehicle prices. Coming out of 2020 into 2021, there were a lot of things that were topical on everybody's mind, yeah, including the pandemic, including some fragility in the supply chain. We're not talking about it quite as much as we did a few years ago, but remember all the microchips that we didn't have? Remember how low inventory got? And remember how we all work together to bounce back. But vehicle prices as supply has increased almost consecutively in the last 5 years, has maintained high levels. And that's putting pressure, as it did in 2023, on the consumer, and it's putting pressure on all of our margin positions, from the OEM through retail into the service providers. Also, what was true at the time is payments. Payments, leasing programs became less common, and not just the price of the car, average transaction price $50,000. Not only did it get there, but it stayed there. Your average prices on a lease, as many of the retail colleagues in the room know, is not only still past $800, but in some cases $900, some cases $1,000. Model mix is a part of that. But we were talking about prices, we were talking about payments, we were talking about remote work. What is that going to mean? If people don't have to commute to work every day, are they going to own as many cars? Right? And I think I talked a lot about this, not only at our event in 2023, but for the last several years in this role. Right? There's over 300 million vehicles in America. There's less than 300 million licensed drivers. On average, these vehicles are idle 96% of the time. Will vehicle ownership, coupled with short supply, coupled with vehicle affordability concerns, coupled with underutilization of the car park, will vehicle ownership change as people rethink how they live and how they work? And then, of course, e-commerce. Auto as a vertical has been relatively late to e-commerce for a lot of reasons, including the fact that it's a $50,000 plus purchase, and including the fact that many of the end products weigh over 6,000 pounds. It's not the easiest thing for Amazon just to deliver to you. Yeah? But the punchline for right now, which is why I wanted to open this way, is not much has changed in the things that we are talking about, in the developments of the industry, in the things that we are working on. And I do want to cast a light on how I view and our team views our role in all of this. Feel familiar? Look familiar? This is not a reveal. This is a setup. And the problem that I want to draw attention to, and the problem that I will personally focus on and our team will personally and collectively talk about on a daily basis, is the fact that net of all of these developments that aren't completely different than the industry developments in the last 5 years, we have a loyalty problem. We have a service retention problem. And it has been a problem since I started in the industry in the early 2000s. it's becoming more of a problem. Service retention is part of it. Brand loyalty is part of it. And it's not a somebody job, it's an everybody job. And too much, in my opinion, of not only the business, the transportation wallets of Americans, escape the franchise dealer system. But in a lot of ways, we are leaving opportunities on the table, even outside of our core focus of building, selling, and servicing vehicles. Too much of that business, too much share of that transportation wallet in America escapes the franchise system. And then you're talking about non-OEM parts, less than ideal repair instructions. You're talking about not only less money staying in the system that we champion, but also the quality of the experience in the vehicle is compromised. And I've always thought in my career, owning a vehicle should be as fun as buying a vehicle. Servicing a vehicle should be as easy as everything else we do in our lives. And if we're being honest with ourselves, do we really think that's the case? Do we really think that the consumers are having an easy time buying vehicles and getting them serviced? There's opportunity. A lot of people in this room do a great job. A lot of people who aren't in this room do a great job. But collectively, what America is telling us as industry people is that we'll give you half. We'll give you half of our business after we buy the new car. And half we're going to take elsewhere. Do it yourself is a small part of it. Independent repair shops is a big part of it. This number you know. There's 18,000 collectively, franchise dealers plus or minus a couple hundred in America. There's more than 10 times that. Those who can repair vehicles and service customers that are not under the banner of a franchise brand. They didn't build those 180,000 locations because the 18,000 were doing such a great job, at least not all of them. So half of the business, half of the service business in this industry on new car sales leaves our system, the system that we champion. And more of the same is just not going to do. So yes, vehicle affordability is a topic. Yes, there's a recalibration of electric vehicles. Yes, payments are too high for many. And it does feel like there's a bit of a separation in the economy. All of those things are true. But I think we can look in the mirrors as an industry and confidently say we can do better than half. We can do better than 54%. And it's even striking after the customer and the car leave the warranty period. That's where it really starts getting polarizing. So service retention inside of the base warranty of the OEM on a new car purchase, service retention can be 60, 65%. After the base warranty expires, 30, 35%. It gets cut in half. You put it all together, 54% according to Cox. That's just not going to do. And what are the consumers looking for? 3 things that I want to focus on, at least for now. And then we're going to hear from all sorts of people today that are going to deliver insights on how these things can be attacked, how we can collectively take on the problem space. But the consumers are looking for transparency, they're looking for options, and they're looking for conveniences. Feel familiar? Like everything else that we do, whether it's not waiting in a taxi line anymore and you're picking up your phone and summoning an Uber, or you're just picking up a different app and you're bringing, you're summoning a DoorDasher to bring a meal of food to your home. Whether you're going to Amazon, whether you're going to Uber, whether you're going to DoorDash, all of that has reestablished consumer preference. And it really boils down to some core things. And it's been in our plain sight for years. Like I said, ever since I've been in this industry. So some stats to keep in mind, and I'm not going to belabor too many, but these ones strike me, and I'd invite you all to think about these, and not only what role can we play together in addressing these things, but what opportunities do we not see? I don't see everything. I had an old boss early in my career that said something all the time that always stuck with me. Nobody is as smart as everybody. So keep these things in mind, because it ends up being a team effort to attack the problem and make it better. 70% of consumers said digital tools make the service experience better. Are we deploying digital tools the right way across the board? I mean, you all tell me. At an average retail auto location, your average dealership's using between 20 and 30 different point solutions. Different software solutions for different things, built at different points of time for different jobs. But when it all comes together, as an example, is it seamless for the customer to book an online service appointment, confirm a loaner, and potentially get it dropped off at their home? There are many dealers that do this really, really well, but most of them do that with 3 different solutions that are not connected, that are not well integrated, that compromise the customer experience and the dealership employee experience. We can't stand up disconnected consumer experiences that compete with the way that people live and buy today. It's not a problem at Amazon. It's not a problem with DoorDash. It's not a problem with Uber. It's all seamless and it's all fast. But if we're looking at one experience as 12 different jobs enabled by independent software solutions, we will never be able to match everyone's expectations. Again, which is why we lose about half of the service business after the sale of the car. 61% of consumers are willing to pay more for service options. Think about that for a minute. If we figure out what to do, how to do it, and make it fast, the consumer is happy to pay more. Right? Now I'm talking about pickup and delivery as an option. The consumer wants it and they're willing to pay. Why not scale that? I happen to think the 18,000 franchise dealers in America should long-term be the scaled and branded rental option. Consumers are happy to pay for it. Why wouldn't you scale that? Mobile services. I love mobile services. Many in the room today are leading businesses that have incorporated mobile services and mobile repair into their business. Software providers, retail groups, OEMs. The customer is happy to pay. Why not scale it? So we know what the problem is. We know what the symptoms are. And for me, honestly, it's been stuck. Service retention and loyalty has been stuck. And it's not getting better. And the proliferation of software, frankly, I'll look in the mirror on this a little bit, has been part of the problem. And we're going to address that. At Dealerware, we're going to address that. So loyalty is our problem. And I know this is a bold statement, but we're going to talk a bit about it, and then you're going to hear from others. Dealerware is our solution. Not the only solution. There will be other solutions as well. But we are rethinking what Dealerware is. And it's going to be more expansive than where we started. We started as a fleet management platform. And I want to talk about that a little bit. As context today, and we have a full sample, we work with the majority of the OEMs in the market. There are 3,200 franchise dealers at the location level that run on Dealerware. We're connecting over 100,000 vehicles across America. On average, 65,000, 70,000 are on the road with a consumer, whether it's for a service loaner contract, a paid rental, a test drive, but generally 65, 70% utilization. Thousands of locations, tens of thousands of vehicles, lots of different make model combinations, lots of different OEM brand partners. We have a really good sample of what's working and what's not. And we're happy to share. And many of you that are here who have said yes to be here and present are also happy to share, which is what I love about you. But we see the same problem throughout to varying degrees at the OEM level and at the retail level. But whether you're at 40% retention or 70% retention, we are all leaving a bunch on the table. So we started, Kyler, Melissa, others, 2017, with an idea and a vision to digitize fleet management for dealers. Right? And the product stack was relatively straightforward. It's a fleet management platform, web and mobile applications, digital contracting, connected car services through telematics, and tolling automation. It was a tool for a job. Now I want to talk about what we've done since 2023. We've added a bunch, and you can see this mounting and you can see this growing. So the ability to verify a consumer's insurance policy, to make it easier to say yes to put them in a car, whether they want to rent the car from you, whether they want or need a vehicle while their car's in the shop for 5 days. For many different retail partners of ours, we've even stood up rental booking sites where we can expose the vehicle availability of the fleet that they have under management at the location. The booking site hits the Dealerware vehicle availability API, and a consumer can go on to the booking site and book a car, right? A little bit like Expedia, that type of experience. We do that for dozens of dealers that are actively managing paid rental businesses in the market. Pickup and delivery. Pickup and delivery is hard to do. We have a valet option inside of Dealerware that gives you, as a dealer, the capability to assign the job of dropping off a vehicle to the consumer. Pick up their vehicle, take it to the shop, do the reverse in 5 days. It's a great feature. But pickup and delivery for all the eclectic needs in the market, super hard, super difficult. Sometimes the customer needs to be picked up. Sometimes they need to be dropped off. Sometimes you're going to give them a car. Sometimes you're not going to give them a car. Sometimes you need 2 drivers to get the job done. Sometimes you need 1. So we're going to partner with HopDrive, and we're going to scale this thing beyond where we started with our own valet feature. And I think this ends up being super important, right? Like, I love going to car dealerships. I do it all the time. I live on an auto row in Ann Arbor, Michigan. I started my career at Varsity Ford. I love being in a dealership. I love the products. I love the negotiation. I love it all. Not everybody's like me. Not everybody wakes out of bed and says, you know what, today I want to go to a car dealership. And I want to spend more time there than I have to. Not everybody's like us. We love it. And there's a lot to love. And many do love it. Not everybody. So why not put it as an arrow in the quiver? And I'm telling you, you offer services like this, people will come. And they'll pay. Why not scale it? Integrations. We were slow on this. We had a ton to build in our core functionality for years at Dealerware. A lot of it's hard. Some of it you got to learn as you go. When you're servicing the many, like we have, lots of different OEMs, lots of different brand programs, courtesy vehicle, paid rental, test drives, complicated insurance, everything is hard. The things that are worth building are hard to build. But I will admit, and this is my fault, no one else's, we were slow to integrate with the service schedulers. We have been slow historically to integrate with the DMS providers. But we have well-documented open and public APIs. We are ready to go. We have the development capacity to do it. We have the wherewithal to do it. We understand the space. We are very willing, and we will spend the money to make systems interoperable for our customers. So we are a yes, right? And I know there are some integration partners that are in the room. There's some others that are not in the room. But if you are an OEM partner of ours or a retail partner of ours, Dealerware is a yes. You can tell the other side that. We will continue to chase them down as well. And we've scaled a lot of great integrations, and we've scaled a lot of great partnerships, and you'll hear from many of them today. But one experience for the customer can be 12 different disjointed jobs and tools if you let it. But if you let these systems work together, if you embed someone else's system like HopDrive in your product environment, or do the reverse, the dealership employee can stay behind one screen, and the dealership collectively can come together and stand up one integrated customer experience and process. That's what winning looks like in this space. That's what will drive loyalty longer term. Insights, data, embedded BI, generative AI, the ability to interact with Dealerware Insights to get the management reports that you need, and not just a static shot of dashboards. We're going to talk a lot about that. We're going to deploy more and more. And we have a bit of a product reveal, or a few product reveals today, that will give everyone a flavor for how we're thinking about not only informing operators that run on our platform, but also the art of the possible on how we automate workflows without humans having to worry about too many things, and automating things that can happen in the middle of the night automatically that you don't have to wait for a person to arrive at 8 a.m. the next day to do, including staging vehicles for the consumers that are going to be there early in the morning for their service appointments. We're going to talk a little bit about that. So this fleet management platform, which is expanded into paid rental and test drive and vehicle subscription use cases, will continue to expand. I'm not going to reveal all of our product substance today. The experts will do that. But there are some intriguing things that we've been working on that now we have the tooling and the capacity to launch this year that I'm obviously super excited about with all the bias that you know I have. Offering the consumer insurance if you can't verify their policy or if nobody wants the liability, we're going to do that this year. It's going to de-risk the fleet. It's going to deflect claims away from OEM insurance policies. It's going to deflect claims away from the garage policy of the dealership. And in many cases, it will end up deflecting claims from the customer's primary insurance. Placeholder for price and name, but $29 a day insurance to eliminate the barrier. It's not much good to just launch and leave an insurance verification offering, which we've stood up with Axel, thank you team, if you don't have a solution for the dealer and for the customer if you can't verify their insurance, right? What are you going to say? No? Can't have the car? We don't want to fix your car anymore? You can't rent a car? So we've taken it the first step. We're going to take it the second with consumer insurance. Inspections. From the beginning, we had a basic solution for what we know happens all the time. Damages to vehicles. Photo capture, iPhone images. Store it if something bad happens with an insurance claim or a dent. You basically have a CYA. You can call the customer back and say you owe us some money. Or you need to make a claim against your insurance policy. We're going to take that way further, and the technology is now ready. Right? So we are going to leverage AI to scan the vehicle when it leaves and scan the vehicle when it comes back. And we're going to tell the dealership before the customer leaves what changed with the car. Is there a different tire on it? Is there a chip in the windshield? Is there a dent in the quarter panel? And it's got to happen fast. All this needs to happen fast. It needs to happen on the same cadence and expectation of the consumer. So we like to stand up, execute, and close out contracts on site with consumers in a minute or less. So everything that we do and deploy needs to work in that context. Right? You don't want to sit with the customer for 5-10 minutes and go through things. Any of these things, even the important stuff. It's not how people live and work anymore. Again, half of them go. So this thing comes together, and for me, it's more than fleet management. And it will continue to be more than fleet management. What do I want Dealerware to be? I want it to be a loyalty platform. I want it to be the solution or a solution in a series to win back the 46% service business of the customers that we're missing today. Yeah? And that is not judgment. That is not judgment that nobody in this room or in all the other rooms in America right now don't understand how to service customers. It's a self-reflection as well. A lot of great things happen in this industry. A lot of great things happen in your organizations. A lot of great things happen at Dealerware. But there's always one more thing you can do. And we want Dealerware not just to be your fleet management solution and your fleet management partners, but we want to be your partners in this pursuit of winning back what we don't capture in loyalty today. It becomes this cool flywheel. You sell a car, you service the customer, you rent them a car. They have college kids home for the summer. They have family in town for Thanksgiving. They're on the go sometimes. They can rent a vehicle. They ordered a vehicle from you. They end up buying another one, but there's a 3-month gap. You can go month to month on recurring 29-day rental contracts. Like all of this goodness comes through a flywheel of sales and service, including things we don't do today. You take vehicles to the customer's home on their terms, on their schedule, enabled by a truly digital experience, they will never service or service or buy a vehicle from somebody else again, at the brand level, at the retail level. This is it. This is our time. But it's an everybody problem. And we can't just do our 1/12 of it. You have to have the full context in mind. So integrations, huge priority. Launching new features on Dealerware to enable new capabilities for our partners, huge priority. We want to be at the center of it all. We want to be the yes people. We will not have all the answers. Nobody is as smart as everybody. If we're missing something, you have to tell us. We have some partners that do. We have some partners that we would like to hear more from, right? But I would love to be rich with ideas from all of you and your teams and your organizations. We can't do everything today. Over the course of time, we will continue to be yes people. We will work it into the roadmap. We will iterate with you. We will continue to drive this industry forward. We will continue to have fun doing it. We will continue to have Inspire events. And I'm super excited to do it all with you. Yeah?